Hello, welcome to our channel. Today I have a co-author and also a very successful entrepreneur who lives in UAE, and his name is Douglas, who joins me in this podcast. And I'm very excited because he doesn't really attend any podcast before, and it's a privilege to have him with us. And the book we just wrote together with Douglas and the other 6 co-authors. It's called The World Thought Leaders, and it went to the bestseller in many different categories when the first they released the book. So congratulations, Doug, and thank you so much for attending this podcast. Let's get started. Doug, would you start with introducing yourself to the audience?
Hi, my name is Douglas, and I am, apart from being an entrepreneur, I'm also an author of this new book, The World's Thought Leaders, and I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. Doug is a very simple guy. Like you can tell he doesn't speak too much, but when he speaks is always great. So the next question I have for you, Doug, is if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Well, that's a good question, and I'd like to describe myself as a world's thought leader, if that may
The
make
word
sense.
thought leader.
Yeah.
3 words.
Uh, Yeah, I'm always thinking, and reacting according to that, basically. You're always thinking ahead about how you want to plan your life, your future, the lives of others, which are more important than anything else.
Wow. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you haven't read the book about what his story is, you will find out why he said that. It's actually beautiful stories. Thank you, Doug. So the next question I have for you is what's one fun or surprising fact about you that most people don't know?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, most people think I'm an introvert. Some people think because I don't actually go in and blow my trumpet. But you know what? I'm always a person who actually concerned about what's happening around me, my people, and the future as well about them more than myself. Because I feel that my leadership qualities is something that is vital for them to steer their lives forward, basically.
That's nice. So you're secretly caring people around you, but then people sometimes they're not even aware and they thought that you don't talk much because they thought you're introvert. Actually, you're not. You're just very thoughtful. You're just thinking for things so that you don't talk much. That's the reason, right?
Exactly. That's right.
Oh, cool.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. The next question, if you could have dinner with any thought leader, living or historical, who would they be and why?
Well, that's a good question. If I had the opportunity to have dinner, I would first have it with the person who has inspired me. And obviously, that's going to be Kristy, you know, because I would never have imagined that I would have actually become an author unless I had that inspiration from her. So that was probably would have dinner and talk about probably writing another book.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. That's my great honor. And thank you so much for the recognition. And it will be great to sit down together, have dinner. You just need to work out your schedule. All right. So the next question I have for you is what inspired you to contribute to this book? And how does your chapter reflect your personal or professional journey?
Honestly, like I said, the inspiration has come from Christy. Like I said earlier, I would never have imagined that I would be doing this. But when I started to actually put pen to paper, it all came, the flash started to sort of, come to me. And I was able to recollect things vividly and was able to sort of put that down on paper, which was something that I never imagined I would, but I did. And it's like the river flowing, it just kept on and on and on. And then obviously, I thought that at the initial stages, it was important not to go overboard with this, to have something that's meaningful, that describes my past life and how I actually came about being an entrepreneur that I am currently. And the things that I've done, that could be an inspiration for others as well.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Douglas. So
Yeah.
I agree that you said about that your heart for the next generations. That's probably also the reason why you're willing to be in this project, because if it's only about yourself, I would say you definitely would say no, right? It's a great journey. We work together and you believe in me and I believe in you. It's a really amazing partnership and teamwork, so thank you for that as well. Now the next question I have for you: can you share a key insight or aha moment from your chapter that readers will find really valuable?
There are a few actually, and one of them was close to my heart. Was, when you do things for others and you don't realize that you're actually doing it at that moment of time for a particular gain. You're just doing it because you feel that the other person really deserves that sort of support and assistance. And key moment was somebody come to me and say, "Well, this is the key to your house." So it really took me by surprise, because actually what it transpired was the person was able to build his own shelter, a lovely house for his family. And he felt that he owed it to me to be able to sort of have that luxury in his life. And he wanted to thank me. And this is why he said, "Well, this actually belongs to you and not to me." So it was a heartbreaking moment. But, it's always so, you feel on top of the world when you do things like that for people, and you get that kind of recognition right from them. That's true recognition from the people who are actually not well to do, but downtrodden. But, when you lift them up, you feel lifted as well.
Wow, that is beautiful, Douglas. I'm sure whoever's reading the book, if they read that moment, it's like, what? How could that even happen? And that tells everything about, at the beginning, we talk about thought leaders, and you are definitely doing the thing that you didn't even realize, but you are acting and behaving like the thought leader. That's why it turned to the result. People come back to you and say thank you to you and recognize everything that you did. So it's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Now, the next question I have for you: what makes your perspective or approach unique compared to other thought leader in your field?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm not a person who was had any kind of plans to be an author or write a book or things like that. So I don't know how to compare myself, but really I don't want to compare myself. I mean, I appreciate, what others do as well. Always happy for other people, because, you can't be tells all of the world, basically. So I'm happy to sort of not compare myself, honestly, but to say, well, if that person has done well and who his or her book is recognized world over and they're doing well for themselves, I'm so happy for them, basically. I'm not selfish in my thoughts.
That's amazing. I know Douglas is a very humble person, which is why when I ask this question, he will be like, I'm not going to compare with anybody, which is very true because our only enemy is actually ourselves. If we know how to really think about we will get better than yesterday rather than get better tomorrow than today, that's what we should be focusing rather than focusing on comparing with others. However, I do want to call out the special expertise that our Douglas has, because you're not sharing, I'm going to share. So he's been in the industry for a very long time, particularly in the logistics industry. He also started in the trading part as well. I mean, as he told in the story. So if you guys are looking for someone who, particularly, he's very experienced in the UAE market, definitely Douglas will be the right person that you can send an inquiry or consultant with him. He's definitely has this a lot of experiences that he can give you great advice and help as well. When you become entrepreneur for so many years, there's up and down moments. That's something not everybody can really have, which is why this is the uniqueness that Douglas has. So if you guys are looking for anything like that, I strongly suggest you to reach out to him. He has his contact on the book, and my team will also put the contact there. You guys can reach out to him as well. So next question, Doug. If you could summarize your chapter message in just one sentence, what would it be?
Well, that's a good question, actually. Well, to summarize, I think I would ask people to actually read the book and understand my life's journey and probably take inspiration from that.
So the sentence will be: read the book yourself and
That's right.
apply the inspiration yourself, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's the truth because, as we said all the time, his story, I mean, your story, Douglas, it's really unique. And honestly, with what happened in your family during then, all these experiences, really not everybody has the same story, but people can apply. People can also, they have something similar happened during their journey, and through your journey they can learn how to get through that time and how to become stronger rather than weaker through that challenge as well.
Exactly. You use the right term, cope. You need to cope with things.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Cope with
Yep,
it.
yep.
So that's exactly the thing we want to say. Great. All right. Next one is going to be a little bit fun. If your chapter had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Well, that's a good question again. I would actually go back to a song that was written by, I think, some of the famous artists worldwide. I think Michael Jackson was also part of that. I think a song called We Are the World.
We are the world. I know you're trying to say that. Why?
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. Students don't give in.
Because that's what we are. I mean, in that particular song, it tells a story actually about the entire world and what we were going through and how we can actually get through these unity and diversity. I mean, that's exactly what it said. And I think that was a beautiful theme song, really.
That's an amazing song you find. And you are right, because it's really reflecting your heart, that you have a heart for the whole world, for the people in the
That's
world.
correct.
And that's why you're in this network, Doug, because we have the same vision, the
Absolutely.
same heart for people, which is amazing. Thank you. Now, the next question. If you could instantly solve one global challenge using the ideas from your chapter, what would it be?
Well, I think the challenges that we face today are numerous. And I always said this in my meetings, during my network meetings, that what we've seen in those network meetings, the compassion, the integration among people of different nationalities, standing together on one platform and doing the same things that we all do worldwide, is actually something that others, even great organizations like the United Nations, should take heed from, because we're one example where the world is one, basically, and if we stand together, nothing is impossible, basically.
Wow, Douglas. I remember my first speech I made in our first conference in Vietnam. I believe you were there as well. That's what exactly my dream was. And I believe if we as logistics companies and people, we can come together and create harmony and create success together, the world can be one. I mean, we can't be
Absolutely.
the president, obviously, of the nation, yeah. But we
Absolutely.
can be the president of the company, and then representing
Correct.
different background, culture. We will come together. That's gonna solve the big problem about the world, that people only think for themselves, being selfish. And I think that's a big problem you can solve through your journey and the way how you treat your people, which is really
Absolutely.
selfless.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, next question. What has been the most rewarding part of being a co-author of the Word Thought Leader?
The most rewarding part is, number one, is I felt that I had it in me to be able to do something that I never dreamt that I would actually. So like I said, without that inspiration I would never have been there, but having received that inspiration, I feel that I could go further. It gave me a lot of courage, a lot of strength, and a different perspective of what I see around me and my abilities, basically.
Yes, I'm so glad to hear that, Doug. I'm sure that this is probably the most things I've heard from all the authors, all the co-authors, that is, oh, I thought I'm just writing a book, but I'm actually doing a self-discovery. And I found the better version of myself. I meet the better version of myself. And that's
That's
really a
correct.
great, rewarding journey. Yeah. So, and I've seen already many people are clapping hands for you. They're say celebrating for you because you deserve that. And you've been doing a lot of things quietly. You never really have that chance to reflect your life, say, hey, hang on a minute, it is the time for me to look back what I'm doing, what have I done, like it's a good way, not say what have you done for a bad way, but the good things that you've done. And then you can then have a better, clear version and vision for the future where you head into as well.
Absolutely.
That's great. Next question. How has collaborating with other thought leaders in this book inspired or influenced you?
Well, like I said, those authors are, I would say, the best in terms of what they've done. Their stories have been extremely inspirational as well. And I felt that, for me, I look at it as a learning experience. I mean, I looked at it as something that I would actually learn from others. And I've always done that. So I think whatever they have come up with is something that I could also learn from, basically. And like I said, life is a learning process and we never stop learning, basically.
Wow, that's so amazing, Douglas. Thank you. And again, as you guys can see, that Douglas is a very humble and always teachable man, which is a great quality about leaders, because if a leader is not teachable, they won't have followers who are teachable. And because we are the image and we are the leading image for our followers as well. The best leaders are the best followers as well. All right. Next question. What would you say to someone considering contributing to a future edition of this book?
I would always encourage people, having been through this journey myself, I would always encourage people to contribute and to sort of, be the person that they want to be. Actually, the most people, like I said, do not discover themselves until a situation like this arises. And I think people should dig deeper into their lives and say, okay, am I just this, or am I made for stronger stuff, for something more larger than life stuff? So I think that's exactly where they should go.
Wow, great encouragement, Doug. Before the last question, I have one more question. Do you have anything to say to me about this journey? I'm here listening the feedback from you, Doug. Share with me. Thank you.
Well, that's again another wonderful question. I think the things I have to say to you is that having known you for many years and having been with you in the industry that I am in, I mean, I felt that you've taken off on a platform that's entirely different. And I'm sure that if not for your hard work and your resilience, you would never have reached the situation that you are in currently. And I think you are for certain are a great inspiration to not only me, but to others as well. And I wish you the very best. I mean, let's not stop here. I mean, I hope that you go to the next level as well. Yeah.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. The last but not the least, I would like you to share with their audience how can they connect with you, where you go the most, whether it's email or LinkedIn or somewhere. Can you share with them? Thank you.
Well, yes, if you want to connect with me, I'm open on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and obviously the good old email that you could reach out. I'm always available. I'm always there to sort of listen, learn, give people encouragement to do what they have to do and take their lives forward. And by doing that, I'm sure that I'm going to take my life forward as well.
Thank you so much, Douglas. Guys, just check on the comment. Our team will put Douglas' contact details on their channel. If you want to reach out to him, please feel free to do so. Thank you once again, Douglas, for your time. I look forward to chatting with you on another time.
Thank you very much as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. Thank you.